This is China's 17 Pro Max. Same name, same camera island, same liquid glass UI, even the same pill-shaped dynamic island. Sorry, hyper island. Like, look at them side by side. Almost identical. Well, this is the Xiaomi 17 Pro, and if you think, Xiaomi always copies Apple. Well, it's not just Xiaomi. In 2011, Apple sued Samsung for $1 billion. The phones and tablets look identical, and they even went on to win the lawsuit. OnePlus copies the iPhone's alert slider. In fact, OnePlus recently launched wired earbuds, which are again identical to the original AirPods. And then the whole notch epidemic of 2018. And scroll to 2025, everyone now has a dynamic island. And the list goes on and on and on. This TW explains, and the question is, why do Android phones copy iPhones so dearly? And moreover, this phone is definitely coming to India, so how good is this Xiaomi phone? Now, before we get to these two reasons, which is the answer, let's talk about this guy. Right from the moment we got the box, this phone felt special. Like in the sea of rectangular square boxes, this tall box feels like you've bought something luxury. Maybe a luxury watch. This comes packed in with a hardened plastic case. Like the case has this raised lip which protects the rear display. You get a 100-watt PPS charger, and this is the tiniest 100-watt charger I have seen. There's the usual cable, paperwork, yada yada yada. Now yes, this is the Xiaomi 17 Pro. Like yes, it does copy the iPhone 17 Pro. In fact, Xiaomi skipped the whole entire Xiaomi 16 series and named their phone straight up Xiaomi 17, Xiaomi 17 Pro, Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, exact copy of the iPhone 17 series. Like they are not at all hiding this. Now we'll get to the whole copying part and all of that in just a moment, but what the whole internet missed is 5 things that this phone does for the first time in the world. Like let alone the iPhone, even Android phones cannot do it right now. First up, build quality. This is the world's first phone to use Dragon Crystal Glass 3 on the front as well as the back. Like not just the display, but the entire phone is covered in glass protection. And Dragon Crystal Glass is made by Xiaomi itself. Like last year we covered how Xiaomi is trying to make everything in-house, from the processor to the camera sensor, etc, etc. Well, this glass protection is a birth because of that initiative. And what's so special about Dragon Crystal Glass 3? Well, it's not only the hardest glass on Xiaomi itself, but on any smartphone. Higher than Apple, higher than Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and that makes this phone 10x drop resistant. So remember those videos of people hitting nails with the phone? Well, this is the better version of that glass. Plus you get aluminum alloy frame with titanium components. It also comes with IP68 certification, where normal flagships can only survive 1.5 to 2 meters max. Well, this can survive up to 6 meters underwater. And guess who can also survive 6 meters underwater? The 17 Pro. Xiaomi actually matched up to Apple. And this is insane. Xiaomi copied the camera island of the iPhone Pro, but rather than having it all metal, you get a 2.9-inch AMOLED display on the back, 120Hz refresh rate, 3500 nits peak brightness. That is brighter than iPhone's front display. So again, what can you do with it? A couple of things. Number one, you swipe right and you can take selfies with the main as well as the ultra-wide angle 50 megapixel camera. The screen acts as a viewfinder and instantly you get better selfies, and it's also convenient. Number two, notifications. When your phone is upside down on the table, a message comes in, you can read it without flipping the phone. Even when I set up a timer, it shows up on the rear display with this cool hourglass animation. Now the most wild use cases, Xiaomi made an official Game Boy style case. The rear screen becomes a portable gaming console. That's freaking cool. So is the rear display a gimmick? Yeah, but a fun one. I see the screen as a budget smartwatch. You can just view time, use it as a camera control, view notifications without touching your phone screen. So imagine this as a budget smartwatch on the back of your phone. Just a small utility screen when you need it. And a good utility app is Surfshark VPN. It unlocks content from the other part of the world and gives you good privacy while you search online. You can check out Surfshark VPN from the first link in the description or from the first pinned comment. Back to the video. And this is the world's first phone to come with Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Now for people who don't know, 8 Elite Gen 5 is the second generation where Snapdragon is making CPUs from scratch. And this is built on a 3nm process, same as Apple A19 Pro chip. And in benchmark, it's neck to neck with Apple. In fact, better. Now, this phone right here, maybe due to its size, it has some heating issues. Now, 8 Elite Gen 5 was marketed to cross 40 lakh on AnTuTu. Here it only touched 25 lakh, which is in fact lower than the last year's chip. Also, when we tried running the benchmark in performance mode, it just wouldn't run it. There was a message that the device is overheating. And for some reason, the phone just wouldn't run 3D Mark. It says it's blocked. In fact, the same happens with the latest version of AnTuTu. This is the message. Now, since this is a Chinese unit, there could be one reason for that. But in day-to-day usage, I think smartphones have gotten way faster. It works phenomenally well. That will never be a problem. Now we'll check the performance more once the phone comes to India. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Number 4, camera, and this is where Xiaomi went crazy. You get a triple 50 megapixel Leica camera system, and imagine Xiaomi had to put the main camera as well as the telephoto camera all behind this display in this tiny space. Now photos look absolutely detailed, like it can go all the way up to 120x, and when you zoom out from these photos, it just feels insane how far 120x is. It uses AI to actually rebuild those 120x photos. Photos come out really good. Now one thing I noticed is during harsh HDR scenes, Xiaomi tries to brighten up the face and looks really bad. It looks like a HDR glitch. But we have seen this happening with most Chinese phones, so it could be because the algorithm is tuned to the Chinese face. Now the main magic is, the main 50 megapixel camera is Light Fusion 950L, which can take up to 16.5 stops of dynamic range. This is the highest ever in a smartphone. So what does that mean? So look at this raw photo I took. Now I can go all the way up to increase the brightness, and the photo still has those details. Like the amount of data a phone can gather is getting insane. For reference, the iPhone 17 Pro has around 14 stops. Still great, but Xiaomi just pushed the limit. And also you get the 5x telephoto lens. It can do telemacro at 20 cm. That means you can shoot super close-up macro shots with the telephoto lens, and they look phenomenally good. Now another thing is, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max carries a 7500 mAh battery. It's a new L-shaped silicon carbon battery, the largest on any flagship smartphone right now. In fact, in this tiny form factor, you get a 6300 mAh battery. Feels like companies are fitting in a power bank in smartphones. Now to complement that, you get 100-watt wide charging. It can take you 100% in about 25 minutes. You get 50-watt wireless charging, and here's the world's first 22.5-watt reverse wireless charging. Most phones have 4.5 to 5-watt reverse wireless charging. Some newer phones like OnePlus 13, you get 10-watt. But this can literally fast charge a smartphone wirelessly. Now it also comes with HyperOS 3, which feels like an adaptation of iOS 26. And like, here is where the copying becomes obvious. Hyper Island. Yes, they literally called it Hyper Island. It's Apple's dynamic island, same pill shape at the top, same animation, same functionality. Now Apple did it to hide the notch, but this is just plain Control-C, Control-V. Now liquid glass UI. iOS 26 introduced this glassy look with refractions. Now if you go to Xiaomi's gallery, the bottom pill has the same effect. There's an identical search bar on the home screen. The weather, phone, messages icon looks similar to the iOS icons. In fact, I can just slap a third-party icon from the Xiaomi store. Same. Liquid glass design. I can get this translucent glassy effect. In fact, the lock screen has the same lock style. Now credit where due, some things were already there in Xiaomi. Apple just popularized it, so they're doing it a lot more. And the animations on this phone, man, they are way better than iPhone itself. Like, see the place where I touch the Wi-Fi quick setting? It snaps back and opens. Like the way the notification shade comes down and the clock goes back to the same space. The animations here are not only good, but well thought out. Now there's also Xiaomi Xiao 6.0, the AI assistant, but all of those will not come to India. Now getting to the major question, why do Android companies copy Apple? Well, there are two reasons. Number one, sales. See, the Chinese smartphone market is very similar to India. Vivo and Xiaomi, they dominate the market. But when it comes to premium smartphone, Apple still leads the way. So when people spend more than 50,000 rupees, people want the iPhone, they want that camera island, they want that liquid glass UI. So what does Xiaomi do? They give it to you at half the price. This phone in China costs 4,999 yuan, roughly 62,000 rupees. And even when it comes to India, it will only be 80,000, which is again expensive. But this iPhone 17 Pro costs 1.35 lakh. And this is not just me saying this. Xiaomi CEO Li Yun even said it, the 17 series is fully benchmarked against the iPhone. We are ready for head-to-head competition. They are not hiding it. They want themselves to be compared to the iPhone, because every comparison article, free PR. Xiaomi 17 Pro Max versus iPhone 17 Pro Max. These articles are everywhere, and that's the point. You watching this video, me making this video. It's called Comparative Marketing, and that's there. Reason 2, manufacturing. Now this is insider information. When I visited China a couple of months ago, I spoke to some people in the supply chain and to some higher people in a certain smartphone company, and here's what I learned. When Apple moves to a new design, let's say flat panels instead of curved panels, the entire supply chain optimizes for it. Panel manufacturers, glass manufacturer, assembly lines, everything. Because Apple orders in massive volumes, 100 million units per year. So suppliers invest in new machinery, new processes, all optimized for this Apple's design. Now, suppose Xiaomi comes along and they want curved displays on their smartphone. Expensive. But what if they go with Apple's design language? They can use the same supplier, same machinery, same processes, and the result is cheaper, faster, easier. So it's not just lazy copying, it's smart business. Like, why would you reinvent the wheel when the wheel is already rolling? And before Android fans feel bad and iPhone users start gloating, let me show you things iPhone copied from Android. Always on display. Android phones have had this since 2016. Samsung, LG, Motorola all had always on display. iPhone, they got it in 2022 with the iPhone 14 Pro 6 years later. Widgets. Android has had widgets on the home screen since day one. iPhone, they added it in iOS 14, 12 years later. And this camera bar design. iPhone 17 Pro has this horizontal camera bar, stretches across the entire back, looks familiar. Pixel 6, 2021, Oppo Find X3. So, who copied whom? Also, there's anti-reflective coating, circle to search, lot of stuff. The point is, it's not all one-sided. iPhone also copies from Android, but here's the thing. They do it less. Why? Because they don't need to. iPhone is the #1 selling phone in the world. They have a massive user base, loyal customers, so they can afford to move slowly, and when they finally add an Android feature, they market it as revolutionary. And people buy it because Apple knows the users are familiar with the interface. Radical changes that will confuse the user, so they gatekeep, move slowly, and that's a luxury only the market leader can afford. So after all of this, what's the takeaway? Should we keep debating who copied whom? No, think about it. If Xiaomi had a completely unique design, do you think people would have talked so much about it? Hell no. It's not lazy, it's not theft, it's strategic. They want you to talk about it. And here's the thing, our brain loves comparison. So next time when you see an Android phone that looks like an iPhone, don't immediately scream copy. Understand the game. It's business, it's psychology. It's what sells at the end of the day. And honestly, Xiaomi took this design and made it better. I would say functional rather. Competition forces everyone to get better, enjoy the tech and make wiser choices. Subscribe. Speaking of which, this video took a lot of research. If you found it valuable, share it with your friends, especially the ones who love arguing about Android versus iPhone. Maybe they'll finally shut up. Subscribe for more TW Explains. This is Perry signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew. Pew.